invented this loom, LOOM, and it was able to maintain the timelines or something like that, right? Yeah. To manage the multiverse. They can alter reality, space, and time, my nigga. Somebody say time traveling nagas are popping off. They can alter reality, space, and time. Grant wishes like dragons, and act as a gateway to the multiverse. Gateways, stargates, right? The engines come from the outside in the engine room of creation, my nigga. The Beyonders are placed various concordance engines on Earth, stargates, my nigga. These engines are guarded by Beyonders, sentries known as Presters, such as Prester John. I'm out of here, Bo. I never read this before. I never clicked on concordance engines. Have you? Have you, my nigga? We're talking concordance, right? Concordance, right? It's all about the con, my nigga. And the Presters are what they're calling these Beyonders. They're from beyond, right? I can't make this stuff up. And these beyond nagas of unknown origin, like the alchemical dragon of unknown origin, these beyonders are the Presters, are the guardians, are the dragons. Do you see clear? Prester Omega? Man, we could keep going, man. I mean, heart and soul of the universe, we're talking about this concordance engine. It's the heart and soul of the universe. We're talking about the multiverses, the miraculous space and time machine, wishing machine is the heart and soul of the universe. Man, the concordance engine is a map of everything, they say. Prester John is saying it's a map of everything. And it says it's part of his paraphernalia, as part of the equipment of the Prester. He's the Naga that's managing the multiverses and all that, but Kang is over there trying to hijack it. This is why he had to go head up with Kang. Prester John's origin as an Omega is revealed in Defenders Volume 4 through the events diverge. Though the events diverge due to time travel at the end, later in Defenders Beyond number 2, the Omegas are revealed to be another name for the Beyonders, thus do Omega, right? In the what's that? The Greek flow. That's like the Alpha Omega, right? That's the end, right? The end Naga is David, right? Hosea 3, search for HaWah and Con David in the end of days, Naga. So, thus, due to a series of retcons, cons, Prester John is the first Beyonder to appear in Marvel Comics. The first Naga from beyond, and they had to make him pop up because everything is around Prester John. They're doing all these side stories in Marvel, and they all lead back to the Prester. 19 appearances of Prester John in the Johann Earth 616 flow. 6 appearances in the handbook of Prester John's Johann Earth 616. All this stuff, man. So you got the references, man. You dig on it, man. I'm just talking about Prester John. And they said again, however, Kang appeared trying to get Prester John to join him, and as a result of their battle, John was sent into the past. And somewhere else it said he went back to the 12th century or something like that. 12th century. Hold on, let me click on this evil eye again. Evil eye. I mean, the one with the deadly glance, right? The evil eye possesses dimensional time travel abilities as well. It became the focal point of the Avenger Defender War, actually split into 6 pieces, spread throughout the globe. Somewhere we clearly talked about the 12th century, but just keep that 12th century in mind, because that's the time that Genghis Khan and Prester John had this battle. So this whole situation happening with Kang, my noggin. Kang appearing in the timeline seems to be synonymous with Genghis Khan 1202 war with Prester John, and I can't make this stuff up. Because there's an account of King David or Prester John being murdered, my noggin, by Genghis Khan. The horrible slaughter committed by the Mongols soon proved that they were no pious pilgrims bound for the holy sepulchre. Still less were they Christians, so they're not Christians. Get it? The Mongols just means the great ones. We're still talking about Israel. These are Israelites. After a short time, the legend assumed another form. It said that the Mongolians, great ones, were the wild hordes. Horde just means order. Horde is order. The order mentioned in the presbyter's letter to Manuel. They had risen up against their own ruler, King David, murdering both him and his father. The Speculum Historiale of Vincent of Beauvais says, in the year of our Lord 1202, what I say? 1202. Right? After murdering their ruler David. So this happened in the 1200s, and it's being reported on in the Marvel series. Kang went up against the Prester back then, and Prester was probably sent back in the past back then. And Tartars, so David, after the murdering their ruler David, the Tartars, which is Genghis Khan's people, Tartaria, right, set about destroying the people. Certain historical facts form the basis of this remarkable report. Bar Hebraeus mentions that in 1006, the Mongolian tribe of the Carians, Carolina, South Carolina, North Carolina. Kara means black in Turkic, right? Karakatai, Carians in Upper Asia, where major, had become Christians or Nestorians, old king renowned for wisdom. According to the account of Rubricis, the Franciscan, these Carians were related to the Naimans, another Mongolian shepherd tribe. Great one shepherd tribe, David, Israel, let's go, and pay tribute to their ruler, Gur-Khan. They were also Nestorians, which means old king renowned for wise counsel. So all this refers to a wise king, and in that vicinity were considered the countrymen of Prester John. Yeah. So the prince of the Carians, Unk Khan or Wang Khan or Prester John, was in 1202 completely subject to the superior power of Genghis Khan. So all this greatness of Genghis Khan happened after he stole the Khan, which they call Kang, my nigga, which they call Kang for the dismount. This Kang jumping around the timelines is Genghis Khan. But he ain't no Khan. He's stealing the evil eye. He's stealing the technology to affect space and time and try to have his own sacred timeline and all that. Who meanwhile was on the friendliest terms with his family, thus giving the Carians a certain amount of independence. Marco Polo speaks of Unk Khan as the great prince, who is called Prester John. The whole world speaking of his great power. And Marco Polo was rocking in the house of the court of Genghis. So Marco Polo is rocking with Genghis, and he's still calling Prester John the one who the whole world is speaking of his great power. We got before that this combines spiritual and temporal power, or spiritual power. Now keep all that in mind for the dismount. I said for the dismount. 10 things. Yeah, shout out to Comic Book University for the dismount. 10 things about Prester John. Explain in 1 minute. I like that. Well, let go.
Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University, and I'm going to explain 10 things about Prester John in about a minute. Prester John's first appearance was in Fantastic Four number 54 in June of 1966, and he was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Prester John is a character from Marvel Comics, inspired by the mythical Christian king of the same name. Originating from Eastern Asia, he's held titles like priest, king, and adventurer, spanning centuries of exploration. Post-Crusades, Prester John traveled the globe and ultimately discovered the Isle of Avalon, where he had obtained a powerful artifact known as the Evil Eye. The Evil Eye can emit immense concussive energy and disintegrate matter.
My bad. This is Prester John now. Look at him, man. Damn. Prester like, damn. He said, why? Well, you know why. Prester's hijack city. Now this is the Prester. Look at him. This is the Prester. All right, one more time. I got distracted. Back it up. It's only a minute, y'all. It's only a minute.
Appearance was in Fantastic Four number 50.
Look at this, man. Created by Stan Lee. Stan Lee, you did this, man. You made Prester look like you. Let's go. Portal to Earth, Starlight Citadel. Now this is way more consistent than you think, my nigga. We got the Mog Moor over here, man. Yeah, just keep this Fairyland. Fairy is code word for dragon, by the way. So this is Dragonland. Camelot is Kaleluz. All this is America, my nigga. All this is America. And the portals, Stargates. We just dropped a whole drop. We just shared a drop on the IG on these Stargates as well, man. You know what I mean? Go, go dig on the IG. Let's get it.
Centuries of exploration. Post-Crusades, Prester John traveled the globe and ultimately discovered the Isle of Avalon, where he had obtained a powerful artifact known as the Evil Eye. The Evil Eye can emit immense concussive energy and disintegrate matter. The more intelligent the wielder, the greater and more various the powers of the...
See, that's like Moses with his staff, right? Splitting the waters. It's the rod, it's the staff, it's the emerald staff, it's the sapphire staff. Let's go. The Giants have red hair, Tartaria, hijack city. Woo. Hold up, man. I gotta get that screenshot. Gotta screenshot this. It's an interesting picture right here. And look at these hieroglyphs, huh? There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in this picture. Sometimes they're moving too fast. Why they got these Egyptian hieroglyphs on the seat of survival? Huh? Why they got this mem sauce? And that looks a lot like the seat that Loki sat Man, go look at season 2 of Loki on the last episode, or whatever, episode 6, the finale. And he gets the timelines all in his hand, and he goes sits on this seat, and it's all good. He's literally sitting on the seat of survival. He's literally, I mean, it's right there happening in your face, but that's really the Prester seat, right? So Loki is now sitting in the Prester seat, which is really what Kang is after, you know what I'm saying? So this is this whole Loki-Kang connection, and both of them are fighting against the Khan, Prester John, who has control of it all by birthright. This is your birthright. To see clearly is your birthright. They want to take it from you, collapse the wave pattern on hell, right? Because if you ain't got your land, you in hell right now. You ain't got no freedom. You ain't got no safety. You ain't got no real food, no real water. You in hell right now. So they collapse the wave pattern in Hijack City by making you observe what they want you to observe. That's why they got to change their images, change this, change that, right? Change time, flip the maps, tell you from Africa. They're all black people from Africa. Tell you all these lies, create opposites, slay the dragon. They got to keep you in an illusion. You in some seer's eye right now. But nah, we see clearly, right? We beginning to see clearly. Yeah, I like to read these. I gotta go get hard copies of this.
He'd awakened several times to influence key events until he awakened in the present, but a battle with Kang sent him right back to the 12th century.
Bang! I knew I heard 12th century for the dismount. So he was sent back to the 12th century. Bang. Okay. Y'all let me know if I'm overdropping, man. Y'all say drop. You stop overdropping, man. You know, just let me know if I'm overdropping. If I'm not overdropping, say drop. You ain't overdropping. Let's go. Because in the 12th century, what happened? 1202, right? 1100s, 1165 letter of Prester John. 1202, murder of David, which could have been the Prester's son, David, not the Prester himself, right? I mean, these are what it's all the investigations about. We on Prester 129. Get the drop. Click the links below to enjoy the Prester John investigation. All 129 episodes. Just click the links below. So, Khan is Prester John. We're talking 1202. But now I'm saying either they're copying history or history's copying the Marvels. Which one is it? And who's Stan Lee, man? How did Stan Lee get all this drop? However, Kang appeared trying to get John to join him. As a result of the battle, John was sent into the past. And they just said he was sent to the 12th century. One more time. For the dismount. Drop Nation.
His body in suspended animation. He'd awakened several times to influence key events until he awakened in the present, but a battle with
He awakened several times to influence key events. I'm thinking Tecumseh. I'm thinking all these, major Naga pop-offs. And what about 2023? Will Prester John awaken in 2023? If Kang is popping up all over the timeline, so is the Prester. Or what they say, the Presters are the guardians. And they're guarding these stargates, right? What they call that? Concordance engine. The engines come from the outside in the engine room of creation, which is the heart and soul of the universe, the miraculous space and time machine, wishing machine, The engine room of creation, the Beyonders, also place various concordance engines on Earth. These engines are guarded by Beyonder sentries known as Presters, such as Prester John, Prester Omega.
With Kang sent him right back to the 12th century.
Bang!
John has sworn himself to an oath of knightly chivalry, ultimately making him a force for good. And that's 10 things.
So he's a knight, right? Like the Swan Knights, my noggin. He's a force for good, my noggin. So why is the Avengers battling against him? Because they can't be rocking with good in reality. Thor, all these are Atlantean flows, Egyptian flow. That's why somebody put the hieroglyphs on the seat of survival, man. But it's really, all ancient power, symbolism, magic. This is why Atlantis was destroyed, because of the out of orderness and the misuse of your inheritance, Managa. Your inheritance ain't evil, but if it's misused and it's in the wrong hands and it's out of order, then it causes chaos and destruction. They are misusing your power. And it's up to you, Managa, to get your power back by seeing clearly. You can only do that through the code to be in the frequency to see. So HaWah gave us the 10 Commandments with a 9 code. You're supposed to be resting on this day, rest day. Do your best, right, to rest so that you can be in the frequency to start to see. Because they've tried to put your light out. They tried to create opposites. They said the code is done away with. The commandments are done away with now. JC is here. Nah, my noggin. They created opposites. They put you in these religions to create an opposite flow of you connecting directly with the creator. Now you got to go through a hijack to get to the creator. That's an opposite of what HaWah is talking about, who says, I am your only savior. I will save you. Me. Hosea 3, seek HaWah and King David in the end of days, right? So when we searching for the Prester, it's beyond just an investigation. We are being our life, our timeline back. We're putting our breath, our security, back in order. We're putting Most High over everything. And that's the only time that you truly start to seek HaWah. And until you start seeking HaWah, don't even think about, seeking King David. Because afterwards shall the children of Israel return, seek the Creator, HaWah, and David their king. And I believe, this is what the Prester Marvel flow is all about. The rise of David, the rise of the priest king. Genghis Khan tried to slow that down. Kang is trying to slow that down by creating his version of the sacred timeline. They're trying to collapse the wave pattern on everything but your promised land. They're trying to collapse the wave pattern on everything but paradise. But we have his goodness in the end of days. We have one shepherd, Khan David, in the end of days, right? Khan. ShaBat ShaLaWam.